Hey, I started this year off investigating Myron Golden, a cross between TD Jakes and a YouTube hustle bro selling courses and exclusive yacht mastermind packages for tens of thousands of dollars. Pro tip, anyone who uses the word mastermind while referring to a product they're selling is hustling you. Some people claim they got what they paid for, which is fine, but that was never my point. I'm here to explain deceptive tactics and psychological manipulation techniques because false advertising and using people's self-esteem against them makes you a grifter at best and a scammer at worst. Why am I bringing Myron up here? Because a different financial influencer had the misfortune of sliding across my radar a few months back, thanks to one of my viewers. And I have a theory that Myron taught her everything she knows. Not just her either. It's a short story, but then again, that's why y'all are here.
So if I can do it, you can do it too, okay? Build a six-figure annual income. And I know that you want to have financial security.
One of my viewers, Kelly Hairston, asked me to investigate Paris Smith, aka That Wealth Chick, founder of That Wealth Academy. It took me long enough, but I was doing stuff. Kelly sent me some evidence indicating that Paris might also be a grifter, and I just took her free masterclass to validate that evidence. I'll drop clips here and there as we go. Let's start from the top.
I want you guys to go ahead and get real comfortable and settle in.
Real quick though, y'all see that symbol on the right side? That's on screen in my videos because I've been using today's sponsor, Aura, to monitor my more important passwords and files for over a year now. Aura blocked 10 trackers on this site alone. And if I go to the main sub-menu, it tells me how many ads and trackers they've blocked all time. Over 911,000. I don't go to too many sites like that, but during investigations, I gotta click on sketchy links from time to time. These 77 accounts that need my attention are mostly my weak passwords that I need to be updating. If we hit my account, there's a lot of unchecked alerts I need to catch up on. Since I recognize all these charges, I can clear them out in 20 seconds or less. Then move on to my credit score, which is surprisingly high. I've never had an 800 before right now. Definitely throwing a party after I finish paying my loans off. I actually never see this score unless I'm on Aura, since I know they have all this in one place with less steps to get to the info. To wrap this up, I can double check my transactions after clearing all those alerts out. And everything looks pretty solid. I told y'all I'd be quick. For a 2-week free trial, hit the link on screen, aura.com/CamJames, or in the description. I've been rocking with Aura for over a year. They're one of my earliest sponsors, and I appreciate them supporting these investigations. Paris is one of the many people trying to make a living off teaching you how to be a six-figure stock trader, a notoriously difficult profession that requires intense market monitoring and a considerable set of skills. This YouTuber, and calling her that is a stretch because she makes the same videos over and over again, uses Myron's blueprint to the letter. I would know because I took one of his courses. The flood of emails she sends, the impressive income claims, 5-day challenge gimmick, hyping up an internet course that promises you the possibility of quitting your job. It's all a direct match. And I have examples. Is she the biggest influencer out there? No. And that may make some people feel like I'm picking on someone who isn't doing that much harm. I disagree though. I want people to be able to spot the patterns, and all victims are created equal in my book. The version of me that's outside is kind of like my anger translator. I'm much more laid back in here. I had this video all the way wrapped, and then Paris dropped a 5-day stock market accelerator course. So of course I had to watch it. There's more people involved than just Paris too. This scheme is a whole horizontal merger between direct competitors, grifting the same audience. I'll get deeper into that later. The type of stock trading Paris participates in and teaches is called covered call trading. It's supposed to be a more conservative and safe way to trade, meaning your gains and losses are both relatively limited. You have to already own 100 shares to get started. That means you're probably jumping in with a relatively sizable investment from the get-go. To keep it super simple, you're selling the right for someone else to purchase your shares at a specific price, called the strike price, before a certain date. In exchange for granting the buyer the option to buy those shares, you get a payment called a premium. Now, you sold that option and the stock can either stay below or go above that strike price. If it rises above, you got to give those shares up. But you keep the payment or premium and the profit from that increased value. If it stays below, you keep the premium and you keep your stock, but premium ain't gonna help you that much if it falls too far down. Now you just got a weak ass stock. If you're gonna take anything away from this explanation, income is never guaranteed, period. I'm gonna show y'all the external signs that somebody's probably a grifter and end it with the harder evidence. Number one, this woman is not a financial professional. She has no certifications or degrees, just random screenshots of what she claims she's earned.
Listen, I'm in a bonnet, I'm in the bed, it's a Monday, and this is what I made in the stock market without day trading, without reading charts, and without being glued to my daggone phone. Okay? I didn't have to rush to my 9 to 5 for it. I didn't have to kiss my boss tail for it. I did not have to work for a mediocre paycheck for it.
Paris's channel rotates the same video concepts over and over again. How to make a lot of money in 24 hours or less, which is literally get rich quick. Here's why I'll never work a 9 to 5 again. I retired at 24, trading stocks once a week. You get it. Myron repeats his content like this too, just on a higher level of success. He'd tell you that successful businesses repeat things, so there's no problem with that. In my opinion, it's the claims being made in all these repetitive ass videos that are particularly problematic. Paris claims repeatedly that she retired at 24. And this article she paid to publish in the Tennessee Tribune puts that in 2021, making her 28 or so now. I'd claim that making repetitive videos about how successful your stock trading business is in your car every week is not retirement. I don't know what I'm talking about though, I just make videos for a living. That article I just mentioned also said her and her boyfriend retired wealthy at 22 and 24 to help the surrounding DMV area set themselves up for success in securing their financial futures. I'm calling bullshit. I'm sorry. There are plenty of businesses that exist to genuinely help people, and this is not one of them. I'm gonna show y'all proof of that shortly. So, repetitive claims that don't quite make sense is the second sign. For the third sign, we gotta check out the site she's pushing people to and the site she used to push people to. A person's history matters. Grifters usually don't change, they pivot. Here's the homepage she had linked a couple weeks ago on her IG before removing it. The first thing we see is a $997 trading course that puts stock market trading and guaranteed income in the same sentence. Remember what I said earlier? Income is never guaranteed, period. It's important to note I'm not calling it a scam yet. The course itself might even be helpful to someone trying to learn the basics, but that's not relevant when you're trying to identify a grift. Legitimate instructors don't need all these gimmicks. They don't need to overcharge like this, and most will give you significant info for free on YouTube. At least Myron provides a lot of free game before asking you to give him your kid's college fund. He sent me hella texts and emails telling me to cop his Offer Mastery Bootcamp for a $2,000 down payment. My brother in Christ, I have a girlfriend. If we hit the product section, we see that she partners with somebody named Words Taylor, no comment, to offer his courses on behavior mastery and earning $10K a month to her students. Another tactic Myron uses, and tops that off with access to her coaching call recordings, which is charging you for audio files. Myron does all of this and teaches his students to do the same thing. He's sold other people's classes and courses on his sites, partnered with them at conferences, and sold audio files for years. Indie musicians gotta learn from these people, bruh. On her IG, we see these posts advertising a 5-day challenge, another concept she got directly from Myron. His main hustle is called the Make More Offers Challenge, which I took twice during our investigation. These are free or low-cost seminars that try to upsell you on some ridiculously expensive offer at the end for personal coaching or mastermind sessions, whatever the they call it. In Myron's case, his course was $97 and the offer was $27K, with a payment plan encouraging you to take a loan out to pay or borrow from your retirement.
It's not a $27,000 decision today. Well, it is a $27,000 decision, but you don't need $27,000 today. So you can borrow it from your retirement. or from an insurance policy.
She has a smaller audience and can't pull that off, but the ratio is the same. Her masterclass is free, and the offer at the end is for a $1,997 course with payment plans, courtesy of Klarna and Afterpay, of course. In this post, she stunts about her financial freedom. She claims she's liberated from PTO requests, wakes up every morning deciding which country she wants to live in for the month, kicking it on cruise ships, and headed to Dubai this month. I'm sure y'all are very impressed. Then she asked people to drop wealth in the comments if they want what she has. Several people fell for that, but it's Instagram, so that's not surprising. I don't know her life or income, so the rest of this is purely my opinion. She's not recording YouTube videos in her car and also living in a new country for the month. Nobody who quits their job tells people they've quit their job every day, unless they're trying to sell something else. Nobody who's retired is running coaching sessions, live trading sessions, working with private clients, and constantly posting sales pitches on social media. They don't have to. They are retired. Her trading is probably not paying the bills by itself, but you are. More parallels to Myron's hustle. These are emails she sent to my contact, Kelly. Claims she's only accepting 5 students on payment plans, which is always a lie. If she could pull 50 students, she would. Myron pulls hundreds with this tactic every few weeks. Here's the email I got from him months ago. He offers the replay video, reminds them to drop a mortgage payment as money down for that $27K offer I told y'all about, then lies about limited spots, as if he gives a f. I know this because I got the same exact email with no changes the second time I took his course, just to see if he switched anything up. You just happen to go a little crazy and lose your mind on 2 consecutive sessions, bruh. Sure about that? It's an insult to my intelligence. And yours. This next email gives you a sense of the high-pressure sales tactics they use. It opens with a lie. Kelly, our system has flagged you. You're the only masterclass attendee who has not signed up for the Wealth Talk community for $7 a week, and there are now less than 5 spots remaining. What part of that is true? None of it. This exact message was sent to anyone who hadn't signed up yet. I haven't explained this yet, but Wealth Talk was her second option, just in case you didn't fall for the bait. It goes on to beat her over the head about why she doesn't want to sign up, pressuring her to go through with it or else she won't be able to achieve her dream of financial security, and claiming she can't possibly do it herself and succeed, like Parrish claims she did. She sprayed this same message out in her seminar.
Going it alone, it's not going to work. Now, trading is not something that comes easy to most. And trading stocks is not something that you can just Google. Because trust me, I tried it.
As a person with an immense amount of experience with trial and error, I'm not dismissing this idea without deeper analysis. I was making music videos and event recaps for myself and clients years before any of y'all knew I existed. Whenever I'm asked about making these videos, I always keep it real and address the difficulties and learning curve that comes with it. That being said, I'd never use that as a way to push a course. Everything you need to know about most things is on the internet for free, on YouTube. And I promise you don't have to watch terrible car videos and pay somebody to learn one of the easiest trading methods in existence. The last parallel between Paris and Myron are their masterclass websites. This is the one she has linked on IG at time of publishing. This exists purely to drown you in marketing and get you to press one button. I'm going to keep a running count of how many save my seat buttons we see as we scroll down. All these masterclass sites have a formula. Beautiful studio picture up top to convey success. This is nothing new if you've ever known somebody doing Forex. This is why they're always wearing suits and ugly-ass watches. We see predictable income multiple times. We see OPM, or other people's money. We see the limited space lie again. And just in case y'all were wondering, that timer is fake. It resets as soon as it hits 0. Another glamour shot, still hasn't introduced herself, by the way. Then a poorly punctuated spiel designed to relate to your struggle and promise to solve your problem. Here's that predictable income again, except this time it's missing a T, so you know it's real. Then we hit the customer testimonies, which could be entirely faked. Oh, and then there's the intro. More predictable profits. One more, just in case you thought I was just being petty. You were expected to press that button 7 times before knowing who the hell this is, which means this is also the first time you had to look at this pineapple pizza ass jacket. I've never made fun of people's looks or body on this channel, and I'm not gonna start now, but their Grifters-R-Us outfits are fair game. Remember, these outfits are supposed to impress you and convey their wealth and status. It's a tool to suck you deeper into the scam. Don't you want my MC Hammer jacket? One thing I want to note from the intro itself is that she mentions her learning disability from childhood. Nothing wrong with that in theory. It's just that it's something I also notice when Myron does it. He wears a leg brace and is clearly disabled, but I couldn't help but notice that parallel. In Paris's case, it's clearly an effort to get you emotionally invested. I know that because she dedicated a whole slide to her various disabilities in her masterclass, including diabetes.
I also lived in a single parent household, okay? My dad was in and out of prison my whole life. I was 10 years old when I learned how to write my first sentence. And also I was diagnosed with a chronic disease called juvenile type 1 diabetes.
I pick on misspellings when I'm analyzing things because it's a well-known tool. People who pick up on punctuation and spelling errors would be put off by a site like this. But statistically, people who aren't as likely to catch it are easier to successfully manipulate. I'm not claiming she's doing this on purpose, but many other people absolutely do. Last but not least, this bullshit disclaimer at the bottom. It's here to cover her ass and make sure she can't be held legally accountable for any of these promises. She slipped up though. The disclaimer says, quote, as stipulated by law, we cannot and do not make any guarantees about your ability to get results or earn any money with any of our products or services. She not only starts the seminar guaranteeing income.
If you want to learn how to produce guaranteed weekly income from the market,
she also puts predictable profits on the site multiple times. This isn't my first time doing this. After my debut video essay, one of the people I was covering went back and fixed their site. Feel free to make your bets on how long it'll take her to do the same. Maybe if it was my first time seeing a site like this, I'd be overwhelmed and impressed. I've seen several with this exact same format since I covered Myron though, and I'm tired of it. These people are learning from each other via osmosis and spitting the same formula back out on the social media to pull y'all into the funnel. I can't prove that she took his course, but there's too many parallels for me to just ignore them. In episode 10, I talked about Terry Igioma. She did the same thing on her site, all the way down to her masterclass costing $97 like Myron's. So after all this, what's the bombshell piece of evidence that Kelly shared with me? Screenshots from a seminar she attended by Paris. On the day of December 4th, she went live from her car. Kelly says Paris was talking about how she was about to conduct the live seminar later that night. She conducted the seminar, supposedly, and then the next day she dropped another live video referring to what she did. She very clearly had braids the night of the seminar, which wouldn't make sense if she had her hair taken out the next morning, right? Nobody braids their hair for one night. Kelly also noticed that the questions she was answering from the chat at the end were not questions she saw in the chat, almost as if this was all pre-recorded. None of this would be relevant except for the little detail that these seminars are advertised as a live presentation. I wanted to be sure about this allegation, so I signed up to attend her course this past Wednesday. On Wednesday, she sent this text saying she's gotta go, implying she has to get to the live stream, right? Then she sends another one saying they're getting to the good part. And here's what happened when I clicked the link she emailed me. What kind of live stream has a play button? So yeah, obviously it's pre-recorded, but if we fast forward to when she shows up on screen, it also matches a shot of her that Kelly sent me back in December. But what struck me was how far she goes to convince less skeptical people than me. There's no real questions in the Q&A section throughout the webinar.
a little box, it says Q&A. Make sure you put your questions in the Q&A box because I'm not going to see it. Okay, I'm not going to see it. But for saying, until the end of class, we are having a Q&A session, okay?
I looked into this software, Webinar Jam, and apparently it's used to broadcast pre-recorded events by a lot more people than her. I investigated Myron's course twice because I wanted to see if his were live, and it seemed to me that they were. He was wearing different clothes in each and responded to students I identified from his private Facebook group, which I was also in.
Everybody type mastery in the chat. Type mastery in the chat. The purpose of learning is mastery.
If this is what it looks like, Paris is selling a more accessible version of that man's hustle with nowhere near as much sophistication and lying about her product in multiple ways. Let's not forget the guaranteed income claims. At least she ain't bringing God into it, I guess. I've shown y'all clips throughout, and my final verdict on this masterclass is that it's 40% sob story, 40% flexing, and 15% making sure people doubt their ability to learn this without her. It took her 35 minutes out of the 45-minute seminar to get to the definition of a stock. Maybe if she didn't call this a trading masterclass and claim it was live, I wouldn't be going in so hard. Maybe if she didn't flex on the pores while promising guaranteed income, I'd have nothing to complain about. Maybe if she wasn't promising an escape from poverty to vulnerable people who've never been exposed to something like this, I could let a Black woman eat. I watched her stock market accelerator videos, all 5 of them, almost 3 hours of slow-paced yelling. I didn't have the patience to watch all the hours of Q&A on top of that. Drop thank you Cam in the chat, okay? I'm gonna summarize each day real quick. Day 1, it's most of the presentation you just watched from her free masterclass, just stretched out longer with a lot more Q&A tacked onto the end.
My father, on the other hand, he wasn't really in the picture like that. He was actually in and out of prison my whole entire life. Juvenile type 1 diabetes.
A lot of yelling.
So first we have Terry. Y'all see Terry? Say, hey, Terry. Now, Terry is a former school teacher. Okay.
I had to pull up the Trade and Travel 2.0 site so y'all can see the sheer amount of words she throws at you trying to convince you to pull the trigger. Cite sections with testimonials that don't exist anymore and haven't existed for weeks since I checked this. YouTuber Owalabi Aziz posted proof of fake reviews, which brings all this bull we see on her site crumbling down.
Okay, right click, search image with Google Lens. We have Derek Williams, we have Tom Few, we have Bianca Coates.
Now, Swaggy, though, Swaggy said enough is enough. That's what Swaggy said. He said enough is enough. So he learned how to trade and apply the strategy, and now he spends his winters in Dubai.
YouTuber Alex Trading Reviews already exposed him for lying about not losing a trade in 50 days, giving ineffective advice to the point where the opposite strategy would be profitable, and the general bullshit these influencers do when it comes to providing trading signals. Day 2, this starts by finishing off the material from the free masterclass. She claims we're gonna shift into strategy, but none of that happens here. This explains the basic concept of a premium, explains what covered calls are in slightly more detail, and provides general guidelines about picking a stock.
Y'all go ahead, comment, lock in, because we about to break down the cover call strategy. Now remember, in order for you to trade a cover call, you must own 100 shares of stock. So with this example, at the time of the screenshot, NEO stock price was $10.81, okay? So that means your investment is $1,081, okay? Now, when you trade a cover call, there is something called a premium. So the premium for NEO stock is 60 cents per share. But remember, you own 100 shares.
Now, I don't know everything. I looked this up before doing all this research, and I learned some things in this course that I didn't necessarily have the firmest grasp on. So I'm not going to belittle making things this simple for a layperson. The issue with his whole presentation and all other days of this presentation is how long it takes to get to anything usable and how little usable information there is. As you'll see shortly, this is almost entirely a sales pitch. She tells irrelevant stories throughout, belittles legitimate trading as too complicated, and yells the entire time. Again, All of this was covered in the free masterclass. Day 3. In this video, we're supposed to be getting into the real info on how she 10x'd her income from $0 to $100K in 6 months. She introduces and breaks down leverage, OPM and margin, and compound interest as the 3 concepts you need to learn.
Jeffrey Financial's current stock price at the time of this screenshot is $40.26. Now remember, we are buying 10 contracts, which means 1,000 shares, right? So our investment is $40,000. We are using 20,000 of OPM, and you know margins, that free money. So they're gonna match our 20,000. So we got the 40,000.
Margin is what a brokerage account lends you to trade with. It's a loan that has to be paid back and uses your stocks as collateral. The brokerage can do what's called a margin call to force you to pay it when the interest gets too high. That's what happened in the movie of the same name, but the amount of money was in the hundreds of millions. I highly recommend that joint. It's phenomenal, but it's stressful. The other danger she breezes over is that this OPM, or other people's money, she's referring to is bank money. If all these loans are making you nervous, it's because you're smart. Lastly, her compound interest scenarios all assume the stock you're holding is going to generate enough positive interest to matter. If the value of that stock falls, so will the interest payments. Add that to the fact you'd be underwater on both of these loaned amounts we just talked about, which in her case is 5 digits each. And suddenly this strategy doesn't sound so safe or easy.
We held this thing and we let that thing cook for a year. Let's say the stock just go up $20 from $40 to $60. Our account value just went up by another $20,000.
She goes back to showing off her life. Y'all gonna see this slide often.
I had no idea that I would be retiring myself from the 9 to 5 at 24 years old.
Then she spends the entire rest of the time selling her course. It drags on and on for the next 20 minutes straight and runs directly into more Q&A to wrap us up. Her paid course promises a few things: risk-proof trading secrets, a borrowed capital blueprint, guidance on setting up your trading account, live meetings every Monday for a year, a virtual trading office that dissects your trades, and more. Each one of these comes with a completely made-up price tag of several $1,000s, adding up to $25K. But of course, just like Myron teaches people to do, she surprises us with a limited time discount.
I'm not even gonna pay $5,000. I got y'all, okay? I got y'all, promise you. Okay, instead, the complete investment is just $299.7.
Okay, so that one wasn't real. Here's the real price.
I have a challenge exclusive pricing. It's just for y'all, okay? Just for y'all. Just this week for the challenge. Are y'all ready? Put ready in the chat. $19.97.
There's even a bonus surprise. She's gonna fund the first 5 students' trading accounts, personally.
Yep.
That adds up to $1K she's spending to get $10K in sign-up fees. It's a glorified cash giveaway, which you legally gotta pay taxes on. By the way, real quick, let's go back to the misspellings thing I mentioned earlier. This is a professional sales pitch, right? And these next few slides have some egregious errors. The incomplete sentence and capitalized I all over. Spelling threatened wrong with more capitalized I's. It's either incompetence or it's intentional. Both of these options are trash. Then we got these fake ass testimonies. Who the is Yolanda? Where are the videos? How are we supposed to qualify this? I'm supposed to be the relaxed one. Lastly, she says she has proof that her students are successful. For one, she hasn't taught a live class since the pandemic, which is why they're all masked up in these videos. Watch this clip yourself and tell me how strong this proof is.
It's not that much, but it's still an increase.
Yes, it is.
So,
Hallelujah.
I say that this is a good stuff to invest in. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Now teach me how are we going to trade it now? So let me. Did y'all see that? She's literally breaking everything down.
How are you teaching the student what to say while she's up there and claiming this proves she's a successful trader? 90% of your students can walk through a slide you just explained while you hold their hand. Are you serious? This is a financial product you're selling to adults. Day 4, Paris walks through how she set aside money from her day jobs to fund her account, gaslighting her audience with the implication that they can go pick up a couple more jobs when the promise was that this was supposed to be easy and take 30 minutes a week. Her marketing information contradicts the things she puts in her presentation. The marketing makes it seem like it's super easy and super fast. The presentation starts with, oh, this isn't overnight, you won't get rich quick, which she has to say legally. And then she doubles down on that later on, saying, hey, just pick up a job cleaning floors. All I'm looking for is consistency. Then, 22 minutes in, it's back to the lifestyle stunt slide and irrelevant stories. 26 minutes in, and it's time for a sales pitch and Q&A for the rest of the video. Day 5, last day. This must be the grand finale, right? And in a way, it is. There's another sales pitch, in case you missed the last 2, a bonus session promotion with Words Taylor, and the rest of this video is taken up by a guest speaker, Tiffany Haynes. This woman is in this same exact business as Paris, and is selling the same exact package, pretty much. Why would Paris use valuable time in her 5-day accelerator to let someone else advertise? Because they have a business arrangement resembling a horizontal merger. It benefits both of them. Just because you're competitors doesn't mean you can't collude to target the same captive audience, right? Big businesses do it all the time. Tiffany kicks back a piece to Paris for this advertising opportunity, I presume, and Paris gets to appear more trustworthy by offering additional options. This is like when guest pastors show up at a church service, as if they're gonna say something radically different from what the main pastor just said.
Glad to have you here, brother.
I am so excited to be with you, Myron Golden.
Right back at you, brother. Right back at you.
In reality, that pastor is on tour. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Your dominion is going to be linked to a skill set. Oh, wow.
What you say?
Yeah.
He's increasing the target audience for his virtual sermons, which broadens the sales base for the book he's going to sell or the merch or whatever digital product. Myron's a pastor, and that's not a coincidence. It's what I like to call the circle of lies. We're dealing with people who think a Canva document with colored text, fake testimonials, and income screenshots is enough to get you to drop thousands of dollars on this filler-ass course. They think the same mindset mastery bullshit from multi-level marketing companies can help them rack up on their own people. I dig into these influencers and course sellers, but there's an unlimited number of them out there. Ultimately, I want to give y'all the tools to not fall for this shit. Don't fall for the entertainment value. Be suspicious of anyone bragging this hard about their accomplishments and then telling you to drop emojis or numbers in chats. Look for the red flags on their social media and watch the claims they're making. Black people specifically are captivated by larger-than-life communicators. We're trained to be receptive to that by pastors and TV. She's not even that good at it, but she yelled for the entire presentation. Get past the struggle story, the disabilities, and the things that make her relatable. This is business. She's not your friend. Her goal is to get as much money out of you as possible. And if you're not watching for the signs, people like Paris will succeed. Y'all got the information now. Can't say I ain't tell you. Thank y'all for watching. If y'all enjoyed this, you'll love the rest of my deep dive series. I started it at the top of last year, and this is kind of a return to form. It feels nostalgic, right? Love to y'all, and I'll be back soon. The deep dive I promised about the Black Hebrew Israelites is definitely in progress, but investigations like that take a much longer time. So in the interim, I'll keep giving y'all shorter videos like this one. Yeah, with that, I'll catch y'all soon.